Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, and I am so delighted today to have with me Elena Danaan.
Hi, Gail. Thank you for having me again.
Oh, hi. It's always a pleasure. I enjoy it immensely. And we have so much to talk about. I understand you had a very interesting experience not very long ago. And I'm going, wow. And I don't know if you're prepared to talk about it a little more. I know you wanted some time to digest it a little bit, so to speak, or process it. But we could talk about Telos also, because I find that a very fascinating place. And what would you like to talk about?
I do not know a tremendous lot about Telos. I know it was the headquarters for a long time of the Telosian people, who are a colony of Silozi people from Alpha Centauri, who were there before the last ice age. They had settled colonies on Earth, and big war happened. Something catastrophic events have happened, and a group of them went underground into the deep structures of the undergrounds, what we would call the Agartha. They went there and they regrouped around under Mount Shasta. There are very, very deep levels. They regrouped there. They formed their new colony headquarters there. Many of them left Earth, but many of them couldn't. Not enough ships available, and it was terrible things happening on the surface. So they regrouped there, and with their technology, they reproduced their environment with biospheres, underground biospheres, and artificial sunlight, and all their environment reproduced there. What happened was, the underground realms are not really populated by only progressive people. There was a lot of Naga colonies of Naga. They are more centered into undergrounds of Asia, this area, but they and Middle East. They were interested to take over this power place, but they couldn't really manage. They weren't really organized. The Naga were there since way longer. So things stayed like this until recently, in this century, the reptilian Sicars, the Sicar Empire, came back to Earth, and it was time to set the power on Earth, because reassert the power of these reptilians on Earth, because in the 1940s, the group of Greys from Orion found Earth, and they decide to have it. But the reptilians say, hey, no, we have an ancient colonies there, and it's ours since ever. So they got some agreements together, and so the reptilians say, okay, you're getting a residence with the Earthlings, allowing you that. Let's do it us too. So they say, well, okay, we'll have Telos. So a big war happened, and the reptilians took over Telos. A lot of Telosian were killed, fled, and a big part of them turned to the enemy, turned to the reptilians, because for just survival. And that's how Telos was until recently, until it was liberated by the Earth Alliance. And you could have seen all these fires and earthquakes around Mount Shasta. That was when Telos was liberated by the Earth Alliance. And now the Telosians are being, I suppose they have taken the place back. So that's what I know about Telos.
And they is that in the recent past, or was that a long time ago?
The retaking back of Telos.
Yes,
it was this year, I think, a few months ago, when there was these fires and earthquakes. Yes, this was this year, 2021.
Oh, wow. Wow,
Yes.
that's fascinating. I understand they are wonderful people and they're fifth dimensional. Um,
Not all of them. Many of them are third density. Yes.
oh wow, but they are underground.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have you heard of Adama?
No.
No? Okay.
Adama. Adama. No, it's the place.
Yeah, he's a priest or high priest from Telos, from what I understand,
Okay.
from the information that I have. Um,
Okay.
there are a number of ascended masters that supposedly hang out there as well. I've been
Okay.
told. Um,
Okay.
I haven't ever been to Mount Shasta. That is some place that I would like to go at some point in time. Um, my I named my little dog after Shasta. I named her Shasta after Mount Shasta.
That's a lovely name. That's a beautiful name. That's nice. Yes.
Yeah,
That's nice.
she's a little sweetheart. So anyway,
No.
uh, what do you think about what's happening on Earth right now? Um,
What I think it's wonderful. I think we are embracing our future, and people start to wake up from all over the world and stand up against tyranny. And it's really taking place. And I hear about many countries who withstand the tyranny. And it's great. We're getting there. The enemy has lost and is now losing the mind control grip on people. And it's I feel with hope. It's good.
Yes, finally, it's wonderful. I mean, I'm seeing it more too, even here in America, because for a while it seemed like we were lagging a little bit. It seemed like everybody was standing up, starting to stand up in Europe and
Yeah.
other places, and now they're standing up here and they're taking it to court too. Even though I don't know about our courts, how um, reliable they are at this stage of the game, but just the fact that people are standing up and saying, no, I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it.
That's it. I do not consent. That's what people do, and that's what we need to do. It's perfect.
Yes, and so that helps bring our freedom on faster, and it's my understanding, according to some of your findings too, or your information, is that many of the negatives have been removed from our planet.
Yes, yes, yes. It may have been may remain some little pockets where they are cornered and dealt with, but that's it's over. They've lost. They've lost. Yes, and all the portals in our solar system have been shut down, so nobody can escape. So they're
Oh,
trapped.
good. So even if they manage to get off the planet, they're not getting away, so that
No,
they can come back and cause more trouble again.
yeah, they're going for the portals and they're shut down. So that's where the Galactic Federation waits for them.
Did you hear about the concert that went on in Texas?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's terrible. That's
Yeah,
really sad.
it was horrible. It was
That's really
targeting
sad.
people that have fallen for the program and
Ah,
activating that substance
oh
within.
wow. Oh wow.
It was literally causing heart attacks and major problems like that. People,
Wow.
quite a few died, from what I understand.
Well, that may wake up a few more,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
a lot of it's being
Gosh.
suppressed by the media, which seems to be the real problem for the people because they don't tell the truth. And truth,
People should everything they hear on the mainstream media, it's not reflecting the truth. So people should really believe
exactly.
that.
It's just the opposite. It's usually just the opposite
I
of what
know, I
they
know, I know, right?
say. So if they're saying one thing, you can almost figure that it's just the opposite of that.
Yes.
So, um, what can you tell people to help them transmute some negativity or trauma or anything in their life that might be holding them back?
Okay. Um, the first step is to remove all interference coming from outside. We were just mentioning it. Shut down the TV. Watch only cartoons and nice things, and remove anything that is sending you fear or taking your power away, like believing that someone is going to do the job for you or the work for you. Take back your power. So I recommend meditation and going within and exploring our traumas. You know, ask yourself the question, what's wrong with me? And in a deep meditation, and not in a negative way. What is wrong? That means, what are my weaknesses, my traumas, and what happened? And then you may have images and try to find what is the younger you, what age was the younger you when something happened that hurt you and that never healed, and that is still to this day a weakness to you, because it resonates with conflict, it resonates with mind control, maybe. So if you heal yourself, for instance, I give you an instance. You were a child and you were disappointed by your parents, and all you needed was a hug, and you never got this hug. So find this child and give this child a hug. Things like that, send love. Love is the greatest healer. Send love to the younger you who was hurt, and then you become invincible. You become whole. It's a soul retrieval. So I recommend doing these things.
So loving yourself is a big part of these,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then you're able to spread love elsewhere. But first, loving yourself is absolutely critical. And
Oh, yes.
do you find that this type of meditation or going within might be easier out in nature?
Of course. Of course. It is very important to be connected to your natural environment. That's what the lockdowns have tried to cut us off. Your natural environment is in resonance with this body, this third density body you're incarnated into. So it feeds off the energies of the environment, and it really, strengthens itself and the immune system and everything. So meditating outside in nature is even better because you're connected faster to the whole universe. So, of course, I recommend to go outside as much as you can. And if you live in a city, there must be a park, a garden, somewhere where there are trees, hopefully, or
Yes,
beach.
yes, whatever is available to you. Whether it's I have the privilege of living at this time in Sedona, and it's so beautiful here.
Oh, wow.
It's absolutely beautiful, and the
Wow.
energy is really good. And I go out to trails, and I just find that I can the peacefulness is there,
Yeah.
and that's
Yes.
what's hard to find in the city. That peacefulness where you can go within and start thinking about some of the things that you've gone through as a child or in your life that have had an impact on you, possibly in a negative way. The other thing I wanted to talk about is people, because they've, as I understand it, they have shut down the the mind control that was coming from Saturn to the moon to the Earth, or however it was done. You know, there may even be some through mass media because they tend to be very nefarious. But a lot of it's been shut down, and people have to realize now that they don't need an intermediary of any type. Would you agree with that?
Oh my gosh, that's a big thing. That's crucial. Um, Stop giving your power away. There was a matrix that was created by the Orion Nebu, the Greys, that was putting a lead on our consciousness evolution, on our opening of consciousness. And this is disconnected now, in many ways, disconnected because the machines have been taken down that were making it, but also it's been disconnected from the source, their source, that was broadcasting the illusions, the Gray's hive consciousness in Orion, that has been taken down and disconnected. Galactic Federation of Worlds has just done that a while ago. Now the thing is, it persists. Why does it persist? Because a deal lot of humans are still plugged to this thing that is dying. It's a black goo. It's a medium that allows artificial intelligence and entities to strive in it. And this thing is still, it's scattered, it's lost, it's decomposing, it's in agony. If nobody was plugged into it, it would be already scattered and dissolved into the noon, But the thing is, so many people have been plugged into it, receiving illusions and, manipulations. They can't let it go. They can't let it go. And that's a big thing. They are feeding it. It survives. It won't survive a long time, but it still holds on, it still lingers. The little scattered pouches of it. So the thing is, only truth can dissolve it. When a person is plugged into it and suddenly receives awareness and truth of what's really happening, it disconnects from it, and and when everybody will be disconnected from this remaining thing, it will be forever dissolved. The thing is, when that goo has been disconnected from the hive consciousness of Orion, many people have felt the shock, the change in frequency. And many people who were thinking they were channeling good beings were actually channeling tricky AI or tricky entities. They felt a change and they felt lost, or maybe some felt maybe sick, or suddenly drop of energy. Many people were plugged, have probably felt that. That's a sign. If you have felt that and you were like channeling things, and you suddenly brutally felt sick or lack of energy, that means you were plugged into it and you are now disconnected from it. So so it's a good thing that's happening. So, but I'm really enticing people to let go of the illusions and just reset yourself and go within. You are your own guru, your own ascended master, and go from there and see what's there and go from there. That's what I would recommend. It's very important.
So you can more easily and readily connect directly with source
Yes.
within yourself. And that's been our problem is
Yes.
you had to somehow find your way through the cloud or the whatever it was that they were holding over us that was making it more difficult for the average person, let's say. I mean, there's always people that are, maybe more evolved or whatever you want to call it, that were able to, maneuver their way through it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of us that are not there yet or are working on it, but now it will become easier and easier for people. Would that be safe to say?
Absolutely. And, it's a learning process. If some people who weren't that skilled at passing through were connected to it, it's a process. In the bigger perspective, the wider perspective, it has been a learning process for these people to experience this, to know about illusion, to know about manipulation, And the denial is a big obstacles most of the time, because when we realize we've been fooled, it takes courage to embrace this, that, oh, I've been fooled. That's very, and for the people who have got the juice, it's the same thing. Many people who have been tricked into getting this poison and who realize they have been tricked, many of them choose denial because it's too hard, too difficult to just realize I've been fooled, I've harmed myself, Or if you're channeling fake entities, like, oh, I've been fooled, I've given this stupid image of me, Denial is protection against, suffering. But the thing is, it's an obstacle. Sooner or later, you need to let it go. You need to let it go. And you'll be fine. You are so powerful. You can do it yourself. You don't need to channel any entities. You plug directly to source, naturally, because you're a fractal of source. So, and you have guides, spirit guides, be they from this earth or be they from the stars. It's your personal guides. We're never alone. we have always a family behind us, our ancestors, and so you can connect to them by within. You do not need to tap outside. The error people do a lot is to open themselves to connect to, oh, I want to talk to Archangel Michael or whoever. The guy is busy. What is going to come first is the lower layers of lower astral, and also this black extraterrestrial black goo. They are below any big higher beings. So if you're not skilled, you just open, oh, I want to channel whatever. That is going to come in first and trick you, because they can read your mind once they are connected, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they can play roles. So I will reconnect to just calm down, go within, find who you are, and at that moment you will hear your ancestors from the earth or from other earths. That's what I recommend.
Wow, that's wonderful. So we have been fooled, a lot of people, concerning what do you have you heard of the violet flame? Is that an illusion?
I've heard about the violet flame, but you know, when I do meditation, and I suppose all of you who do meditation, it's the crown chakra, which has this natural purple
Violet.
color. Yes, and that's what it is. It's nothing else. It's just when your crown chakra is open and the colon is suddenly open and connected, it looks purple.
Mhm.
That's all. What it's a natural. It's part of our constitution, and there's nothing mystical about it. It's just energies, structure, and it's always worked like this. So
Mhm.
any guru pretends, oh, I will give you the violet flame. It's like, come on, I have it already. No, thank you.
Okay, wow, that's interesting because I know that there was a time when I had someone um, on my shows about the violet flame and Saint Germain and so on, and
Oh, that's
basically
such a psyop Saint Germain. Oh my God, that's one of the things as well.
that's an illusion, correct? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah. He was a con man. I read about it, many sources, because I wanted to know about it. I knew from the start that was you know not good. Yeah, he was a con man. He was working for a king, and he was a spy, European spy, and he confessed to King Louis, a French king. I don't remember which one, 14th, I think. Maybe I am wrong. That, oh, and he said it is written. Well, you know, in French, because I'm French, I can read that.
Mhm.
It's written. The guy says to the king, "Oh yes, and by the way, I'm going to trick." Tell people that I'm a time traveler, and that I will come back in the future, and that I'm interdimensional. It doesn't use these words, but I'm a time traveler, and to just put a bit more mystery and trick them. And he says that.
Mhm.
And of course, the Nebu used that to trick people. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. We're going to use it.
Yes, well, they even say that Saint Germain was present during the signing of the Declaration of Independence of America, and
No, he wasn't.
so there are a lot of
Died.
okay, there.
He wasn't a saint at all. I can tell you, of all I've read from him in French and in English, he wasn't a saint at all.
Oh, exactly. I've heard that too. But I have to admit, I have, um, as the illusion starts to
Yes.
fade away and starts to, and we start to recenter ourselves and accept the fact that that was something that we thought before, but we were being fooled. You always are going to run
Mm.
into a lot of cognitive dissonance, as they call it, about that because you had put your faith in it, you had put your thinking that that was true and all this, and now we're finding out that much of what we thought in the past was incorrect, as a way of putting it. But there's no sense in beating yourself up about it either. um,
Absolutely, and it's very brave. Takes courage to accept it. And fair play to you, fair play to all of those who accept to admit they have been fooled. And I did a video actually about this. it's something very important to know, that we are all of us, all humans, extremely intelligent. We've been tricked to believe we are not, but we actually are. We are highly spiritual beings. We are very clever, intelligent, but we can be tricked. And it happens to everyone. It happened to me, it happens to everyone. You can be tricked
Yeah.
into believing something. And that doesn't mean you're stupid. That means at that moment, there was a part in you that was harmed or traumatized, and that resonated with the trick, you know? That's why it's important to heal yourself, because you become non-vulnerable to this kind of tricks, you know? When you are healed, you are, you are invincible. You keep your head on your shoulders. And yeah, being tricked, you're a victim. You're not stupid. You're just being a victim
Hmm.
because you were misinformed and because maybe you were hurt, and anyway. So that's very important to realize. Admitting that you have been tricked means I admit I am a very clever person, and I'm so clever that I even found out I've been tricked, you know?
Yes, well, I'm one of them, so I have to say that myself because I fell for it too. So,
Yeah,
and it was part of the illusion that was created by these dark beings that wanted to control us, and
yeah,
having, trying to move beyond that. Like you said, it does take some courage because it's an admission that you were tricked or that you were fooled,
yeah,
and part of, I think, what made it easier for them to fool us or trick us is that not only the frequencies that they were sending to us, but they've been poisoning us all along too,
of course.
with our food, with our air, with our water. And I don't know if they still do it in Europe, but they're still fluoridating the water in America.
I live in Ireland and it's highly fluoridated.
They
Yes, yes,
fluoridate it too.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
it really angers me that we have to remove it from the water when it shouldn't even be put in the water in the
Yeah,
first place.
it won't last very long, all of this. It will change. The thing is, yes, filter your water with anti-fluoride filters. And because you know what does the fluoride? Why? Because it calcifies the pineal gland. And the pineal gland is what connects us to our higher self, and it's a portal to the Akashic records, the universe, the source. It's a pineal gland. It's a portal in our head. It's an incorporated interdimensional portal throughout which the light being and the consciousness can travel. And if we truly embrace the power of this portal, this thing here, uh, oh my god, we could have won already since a long time, but calcifying
Yeah,
it means shutting it down. So I will recommend to filter your water with filters that remove fluoride. And what I've started doing is to taking a purge of with zeolite,
zeolite. Yeah,
zeolite, zeolite crystals. That is very important. This decalcifies your pineal gland, and it raises your vibration as well, and also it flushes all the heavy metals out of your body.
exactly.
Raise your
Yes.
frequency, decalcifies pineal gland, and flushes all the heavy metals. Zeolite crystals.
So even if your pineal gland has been calcified, it is possible for people
Yes,
to uncalcify it. Correct?
yes,
Yes.
totally, totally.
I do have, I'm thinking of a product that I just started to carry that does have the zeolite in it, and it's called Ambaya Gold. And I
Mm.
really think it's a very good product. But you can get zeolite, straight up just zeolite as well. And there's a number of places that companies that have that. But again, you have to look at the quality of that sort of thing. But anyway, that's really important for people to know that. And then we have GMO foods too. I don't know how much of
Yeah,
a problem that is.
I try to eat basic, simple food. Not don't do not eat processed food. That's it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's everywhere. Buy organic, bio organic, and I buy, myself basic ingredients, basic veg, organic veg, and I or basic rice or bio, organic or things, or I do things myself, and I cook with it. I do not buy any complicated processed sauce, or I don't know what the hell is in it. I do everything myself, and I that's the least you can try to do. It's not easy, but
No, it's not. It's difficult, actually.
difficult.
If people can learn to connect with a local farmer that
Yes.
grows organically,
Yeah.
that's one way of dealing with that. I've been told that some of the organic that we get in stores isn't as organic as we might like it to be, because certain
Yeah.
things have been allowed through certain agencies which are nefarious that people thought were good. Because we've been fooled in so many ways. It's not just our spiritual consciousness, but our very um, um, agencies and people that we looked to and gave our power away to were tricking us too. I mean, it's
Yeah. And buy from a local farmer, small producers as much as you can. You sustain families. You pay for the school for the kids. It's important.
it's very important. I couldn't agree more. I have a history of being a nutritionist, so I've always been in favor of that. But it was very hard to break through that illusion. And about the foods, about the water. You have, dentists saying that the fluoride's good for your teeth. Well, no, it's not. Um, and
But human species is resilient. We are still here. We are still
it's been
fighting.
amazing.
We're
That's what
still waking up from the illusions. We're still there, lads. And we have won. We're winning. When we keep on rebelling against the tyranny, we are resilient. Since how long human species has been existing? We're still here, lads. We're still here. And we won't let us be.
just
So keep
and
up
once
it, keep it up.
yeah, and once we get rid of some of this stuff that has been uh, dumped on us, more or less, from spirituality to what we consume in the air, in our food, in our water, and like you said, we are so amazingly
I know.
resilient, amazing, because we're
And you know
still
why?
here,
Yeah.
and
And you know why? Because we have a badass immune system. Never forget that.
exactly, and we don't need any special substances to that are injected to
Hell
make it
no.
better.
Hell
Um,
no.
we actually your food and your water are probably some of the most important in that regard, to be as clean and pristine as you can possibly make them. It's wonderful if you can grow your own, but of course not many people are set up to be able to
Yeah,
do that.
I know.
Um, but it is amazing how resilient humanity is. In fact, I have a friend who used to say we used to be the bad boys of the universe because of our abilities and so on. And they managed to trick us and strip a lot of them down somewhat. But still, we still have them and we still are resilient. So
Yep.
uh, I think that's why so many of them wanted to study our DNA.
Yes. Also, well, we are a mix. The thing is, these third density flesh suits are an
Yes,
incredible mix of DNAs. And there are 22 different DNAs, and one is original Earthling, and 21 others are aliens. So that's, a tree is stronger when it has many different roots. The more roots a tree has, the stronger it is, the more
exactly.
resilient it is to storms and everything, and disease and everything. So we have 22 different genome in us. So yeah, we are interesting for the rest of the galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why the dark ones wanted to study us, because we also have the ability to connect to source and to
Oh
move
yeah.
into higher dimensions, which they're not able to do, as I understand it. So
Yeah,
therefore,
because the DNA carries also the frequency signature of a species. So we have the frequency signatures of 21 alien species. in ours. That makes it special. But what I want to say by this is that a DNA carries a potential, psychic and energy, abilities, potential, and we have all of them. Imagine.
That's amazing. Do we know which ones they are, by any chance? Do we know any of
I've
them?
been told a few of them, but many others are not from this galaxy, so I don't know the names. And then even they don't have a frequency. They have frequency languages, so it is not translatable into names with our Earth languages.
Mm-hmm.
That as well. But I know there is of course, the Anunnaki. You have the Naga reptilians. You have the Silozi from Alpha Centauri. You have the Ahil from Lyra, the Tal from Lyra. That's 5. Who else? I may forget what I've been told. I think that's all from our galaxy. And then we have other beings from other galaxies like the Patal, the Egon. I'm at 7, and there are a little bit more who have not really translatable names.
Wow. Do you, from your contacts, do you anticipate that there will be a time in the not too distant future when more they would be willing to present themselves to the Earthlings?
Well, that's about the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So it's in negotiation at the moment because they are among us since working with us, the Galactic Federation, since the 1950s. 1954 has been concluded agreements of cooperation, starting by the U.S. Navy. So and many of them live among us, and we are the same species, human species, and we don't tell them apart, so we cannot say it's aliens, but there's a lot living with us. Then there is the aspect of the civilian, official, global contact. Well, not contact. Contact is already made, but disclosure or showing up, or but that is still not for the moment, because we as humans, what it takes, you all want to see alien spaceships and aliens. Well, they're not going to stop waiting, because they are the ones who are waiting for us to do our
Wake
job.
up.
Because the Galactic Federation has taken care of the aliens, the alien problems. They have taken them down. Now they are not going to steal our victory. It's us to put the last stone on the monument of victory, as someone was saying to me. We need to embrace our role now. We need to do our part of the job, which is humans deal with human problems. Like we complain about our governments. Well, let's stop obeying to them. I mean, let's stop doing that. If we still consent to be slaves, Valthor told me we cannot liberate a slave who holds on to his chains. So let them go. These chains are consent to be used, to be manipulated by fear. Let's stop that. People have started to do that all over the world. And standing up, protesting, and that's what human needs to do. Stand up and stop consenting. When you stop feeding the beast, it starves and dies. So we need to do our part of the job. And when we will have done our part of the job, we will have won against our evil governments and stuff. We'll be ready. And that will happen.
I was thinking that many of them have been massively programmed and controlled by the entities that have been removed. And unless they see the light themselves and change their ways and become more for the people rather than for themselves, I don't know if that's possible or not, but I've been told that the Earth Alliance is actually doing quite a bit with the different world governments and so on,
Yes.
and the people that are involved with it, and correcting a lot of these issues and holding the ones that are accountable for what they've done. Because
Yes, the Earth Alliance is the freedom fighters. They are doing their brilliant job, but the populations, we need
they
to do
need,
something. That's another mistake, to rely on the Earth Alliance. At an individual level, we also need to do the part of the job,
yes,
which
yes,
is stop consenting to the tyranny. Stop
exactly.
it. Stop it.
Stop complying, stop believing the lies,
Yeah.
and
Stop
invest.
complying, stop complaining, stand up and stop consenting. The Earth
Exactly.
Alliance can win the war if you still happy to be manipulated and to be told what to do. That's not a victory. It's not yet. The victory, it's at an individual level. That's the most difficult thing. But as long as we won't have done that at all the world at an individual level, well, how can we join membership with the Federation? How can we um, have direct contact if we are still worshipping gods and falling on our knees in front of anything that's different? You know, we
Yes.
need.
I think we have a lot to learn and to move forward on. And I'm getting a message that we should take a little break. But when we come back, one of the things that I'd like to bring up, I think that, and this is always a touchy subject because there's a lot of cognitive dissonance that goes along with that, and that's religion. So
Yeah.
let's take a little break and come back and figure out how we can present something on that in a positive way.
Yes.
Free
Okay.
Range with Gail of Gaia is honored to be affiliated with MyNutra, makers of hemp paste. Hemp paste is a whole food product that still contains most, if not all, of the terpenes, phytonutrients, essential elements, and CBDs of the raw hemp plant. CBD oil manufacturing methods strip away living essential elements, leaving only one, a dead CBD oil. CBD oil alone simply cannot support the entourage effect that occurs when hemp pastes essential nutrients go to work to support your optimum health. Almost 200 terpenes and over 500 other phytonutrients work together with a synergistic effect that simply doesn't happen with CBD oil alone. Visit hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com to learn more. And be sure to check out the impressive array of hemp-enriched products while you're there. That website again, hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. Free Range is pleased to present Modexis and the superfruit Lonicera cerulean. The cornerstone of Modexis products, Lonicera cerulean, is a superfood that supports life at the cellular level. Whether you're looking for a longevity product with added glutathione and ATP, something to help lift you through the day without having to resort to stimulants like caffeine or acidic energy drinks, or just seeking a natural solution to support stress management, Modexis also has a natural approach to pain management. Its Relieve product is unique in its ability to support the body's own pain management system. It's been said you'll notice a difference the very first day. The second day, you'll be loving the products, and the third day, we'll be telling friends about Modexis. Visit modexis.gailofgaia.com to learn more and to see what other people are saying about these quality products. That's modexis.gailofgaia.com.
Well, it looks like we're back, and Elena will be right back with us in just a minute. And we're going to cover a touchy subject, and we'll see how that presents. Did you have something you wanted to add, Paul? Or any
No, I
questions?
just figured that I'd jump in here for a minute until Elena comes back. I am loving this conversation. I'm absolutely loving this. I've just been sitting here listening and just kind of sandbagging, as it were. And Elena, she is just such a joy to have on the program.
Yes, she is. She's a delight, and she always keeps everything real positive, and I really appreciate that as well, because we have been duped, and we've been fooled, and we've been um, we've had a lot of things told to us that are not true.
Mhm.
And being able to face that and not get angry or not get upset or get extremely defensive is a real is a real challenge at times
Yes,
because
absolutely.
the,
Okay, well, I'm gonna duck out of here because Elena's back. So,
okay.
um,
Hi, guys.
I'm loving this show, Elena. I'm just loving it. I'm sitting here just kind of bubbling.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thank you, Elena, too. I guess what I wanted to delve into this a little bit because it is a touchy subject, but it's also one of the things that have held so many people back, I think, and that is, and it's not saying that we're not being spiritual and being religious are not one and the same.
No, no, no. We don't need religions.
They created religions to divide us, I
Yes,
believe.
yes,
The different realms of religion, based on men's or other dark entities interpretations,
yes.
were really meant to deceive us and control us. Would you agree with that?
Totally. We do not need priests. We have direct contact with God or source or whatever, however you call it.
Hmm.
We have this direct contact. We do not need priest. We do not need church. We do not need religions. Anything that asks you to bend on your knees and to find yourself inferior is wrong. It's mind control from the dark ones since a
Right.
long time. When you go, for the Christians, for instance, when you go back to the teachings of Jesus, he said the kingdom of heaven is within you, every one of you.
Yes, isn't that amazing? We seem to overlook that all the time, and I call him Yeshua, and because there were no J's in the day when this was supposedly all written, and much of that has been altered and manipulated in ways by the Vatican.
Yeah.
And I understand there's many books that have been left out, altered, or whatever. They also did a great job of making women less than.
Yeah.
Um, and so there tends to be a lot of misinformation that comes from religions, and I want to make it very clear over and over again: we're not knocking spirituality or connection to source.
Yes. Yes. All these religious stop that. All these wonderful ascended masters who have been marking humanity history since a while. You well, except if the black goo didn't exist, okay, we can all connect to them at an individual level. We have this ability to connect to higher beings, to spiritual masters. We don't need to go to church to talk to Jesus. We don't need to go to see a priest to just interact with Jesus and even sometimes connect with him. Why not? That's if when the black goo doesn't exist, what we're talking. But it's going away anyway. So let us re-embrace this ability that we have to connect with higher beings. We don't need to go to church. And that's our power. That's our power. And religions was made to create. All the religions were created as a control system. It was power,
Yes.
politics, control on the masses. Oh my God, the original sin. How evil is that? Telling you that you came to the world like a shit, like you're feeling like, you're wrong from the start and you need to be a good
Yes,
Christian and obey and do what you're told to do if you want to have a chance to go to heaven. Man, that's
you're wicked,
evil.
and yeah,
That's wicked.
and
That's
yes,
wicked.
it is.
Oh
It
my
is.
God. We come into this world as fantastic, beautiful, the interdimensional beings. Look in the eyes of a newborn child.
I know.
Where do you see the scene, the original scene? Where do you see the scene in the eyes of a beautiful newborn child? Where do you see it? Come on, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I wanted to touch on that because that's been programmed into us ever since we were
Yeah.
small. And
Yeah.
we're going to rise above it. I know we will, but I know there's a lot of cognitive dissonance at first about it. But I think making it very clear that we're not taking source, God, prime creator. God tends to be not very specific. So sometimes I like to say source or prime creator.
Yeah, prime
But
creator is good too. Yeah, I like that.
yeah. And but when the Council of Nicaea
Yeah.
is when they altered so much, and they kept so many things out that weren't part of their control mechanism, so to speak. And uh, it's really delightful that we're going to be moving into a time when we can connect directly more
Yes.
easily than ever before, because we were blocked somewhat in the past.
Yes.
And as we strip away these different illusions, we're going to become more and more powerful spiritual beings. Would you agree with that?
Oh my God. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Absolutely. It's the time to let go of the illusion and embrace who we truly are. The
Yes,
truth, it's within us.
it is. And then we have the ability, everybody talks about ascension. What is your perspective on that from what we've just discussed?
The ascension is a personal process. It's ascension means going into a higher level. To the way I understand it, it's a higher level of consciousness. It's opening your awareness to broader perspective, reconnect with the universe, reconnect first with who you are, but the ascension in higher in frequency, in vibration, a higher rate, a faster rate of vibration. But it's more about an opening of consciousness. And it's an individual process, and you only yourself can do it. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can help you doing it. It's a natural process. Everyone needs to go through the dark night of the soul, and that's an alchemical process. The dark night of the soul is the black earth of the alchemical science. From the dark soil, it's a dark night, is made the child of light, the golden seed, and that is made out of the dark earth, and that's very alchemical. That's nature, nature.
Like
The
you
seeds.
planting a seed in the dark earth and it comes out and grows.
Yes,
Is that
yes. Seeds grow in the dark, and then when
even
it's ready, it
babies
comes
grow
to
in
the
the dark?
light.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So even babies grow in the dark when you think about it.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, of course. Anything is made in the dark of the womb. It's the winter, it's the night, it's the soil under the earth. It's dark. The light doesn't come there, and it's where all the magic happens, in the dark, in the night. And when the baby is all formed, when the seed is all ready, it pops at the surface. The child goes through the birth canal. The seed pops out of the soil, and the soul pops out of the third density. And just, wow, there's a whole world out there.
And that's what we're aiming for right now, for everyone to do this and to come together. Maybe that's a wonderful, wonderful portrayal of it. I think that will resonate with a lot of people. And then I want to take it a step further, okay? Because first of all, we have to work on ourselves.
Yes.
And we work on ourselves through this process.
Yes.
And then as we sprout out, we become a unified collective.
Yes.
That,
very important.
and then we become very powerful because we manifest what we want. And what we want, we know from our past experiences, we're definitely going to know what we don't want.
Yes. Yes.
And so as we correct those things, and as more people's, I could say, scales off their eyes, layers come off, and they see more of what has been perpetrated to them that is not true and that has actually harmed them.
Let's consider humanity as having been in an abusive, sociopathic, narcissistic relationship with the deep state.
Yes.
Okay? No one can take you out of it but you. By what? By realizing that you've been fooled. But sometimes you need to really touch the bottom and be really, really massacred, abused, to realize. Some people will realize very quick. Some others will need to go very deep to jump from the bottom. And that's what it is. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. And I have chosen, before coming into this existence, to experience such a relationship at an individual level. I've been married into this kind of person who has allowed me to have this experience. And thanks to that, I know the process. I know all the stages of it, how you get caught, how do you feel, and how you get out of it, and how you go further. And that's how I try to help humanity, saying to them, that's an abusive relationship. It's the same pattern. They make you feel you're like shit, and you're so. But from there, I mean, how can you grow from there and re-embrace who you are? You know, everything is possible. Just nobody can do it for you.
Right. I think fear is what keeps people from evolving more, and it's confronting that fear and knowing in your heart of hearts that you can stand and you can do it.
Yes, fear is the control of the dark ones. Fear in the religions, fear from the governments. Do this, or you will be out of law.
Thrown in jail.
Yeah. And guilt. They put the guilt on you. That's a good tactic of them. Guilt. Religion, with sins. You've done that. Oh, shame on you. Governments. If you don't do this, you are selfish. And they are trying actually with all what's happening. The governments, the dark sides of them, are trying to convince people that their true right to freedom and free will is selfish.
Yes.
Think about that.
It's always the opposite.
I have the right to decide for myself. Yes. How selfish is that? Come on. And when you are told that in the name of a greater freedom of the society, you need to give up all your personal little daily freedoms, that's wrong. Like breathing freely, meeting freely with other humans, all these things. That's our little basic freedoms. But if we are told you need to you don't have them anymore, but that's for the greater good of the society. That's wrong.
Boy, they're pushing that hard and heavy right now with you're virtuous by doing certain things, following their program, which is actually to your detriment and to your lack of freedom, because they are taking those freedoms away every time they push it a little further, and you just automatically believe or have blind faith in these authority figures, when going into your heart and really listening is so important.
Yeah, it is.
And you've always found that meditating or being quiet. I hear people tell me that they can't meditate, or they can't. What do you say to them to help them?
Yes, what I advise, if you can't concentrate on meditation because your mind wanders all over the place, or you fall asleep. Okay, for falling asleep, that's a good thing. Is to listen to music. Put headphones and listen to music, nice music. Not that will make you fall asleep, but kind that can keep you awake, and that helps. That helps a lot. Then for the wandering mind and not focusing, that's because you have worries, and these worries, it's your active mind, stops you to go within. So you can't deny them, because you can't pretend you have no worry. I have no worries, I'm going to meditation. Doesn't work. So what I recommend, I call it, I invented it, the coat of worries. So all your worries, all your problems you need to sort, it's a coat you're wearing. Okay, so you say to yourself, just for 10 minutes, I'm going to remove the coat of worries, and I put it aside, and I know it's there, and I know that I am going to take it back, wear it on again after my meditation, because the only way to remove my worries is to deal with them, and find solutions, concrete solutions with them. So I need to do that. So, but I will put it back after and do that. But for the moment, I take it off temporarily. When you do that, you feel free. You're not guilty anymore. You're not pretending not to have problems, and your truth to yourself. And I think it works. Try that.
I think that's a wonderful idea. I really do, because we all have our different worries or concerns or problems, and it just scrambles our minds sometimes. We can't get to the heart because how are we going to do this? What are we going to do about that? What's, that kind of thing. And acknowledging that you have things to deal with, and just saying, I'm just setting them aside for, taking this coat off and putting it aside and visualizing that. I think that's a wonderful idea. I don't know how you came up with that, but that's a really great
I
idea.
don't know. It came.
It's good. I'm sure it could be very helpful for people that have that problem. I Going back to ascended masters or higher beings, we weren't saying that they don't exist. Is that correct?
They do exist. They
Mhm.
all exist. The thing is, the enemy can trick you into believing you connect to them, and it's their own program of mind control working with fake entities. That's been going on a lot. A
Okay.
lot, a lot. People receiving downloads of like essays, texts like this, always saying the same, structure the same. And when you need a long text with brainwashing rhythms to convince someone of something, there's something wrong. The truth and positive message from it is, it's short. It's not heavy to read. So I sometimes I hear a friend talking, and the friend was going to say to me one sentence, and this sentence will be loaded with meaning and empowering message. When I receive message from when I hear me my contact upstairs, or I meet them, and they say to me useful ideas I need to pass on, it's short. Like, we can't liberate a slave who holds onto his chain. That
That's
thing
a
on
good
its
one.
own,
I like that
it's
one.
one sentence, and that does the job.
Yes,
That
it says a
this kind
lot
of,
in one sentence. Yes.
if you need to write an essay, and like, we the Arcturians are very happy to talk to you, and we salute you, and we say this and that, and at the end, after an hour, you're still reading, and you're like, what? No, no,
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yes, I've seen
no.
those so-called channeled messages, right?
That channel, all right, but from
Wrong
the
guys.
dark ones, yeah, the wrong guys.
So, okay. So basically, we're not saying there aren't ascended masters or there aren't higher beings that you can connect with, but the chances of them having a long, ongoing conversation is
Yeah.
probably not realistic.
Yeah, the ascended masters, they're all real, I believe. But then, do you really connect to them? That's what you need to ask yourself.
Mhm. So once this dark cloud that you were referring to totally dissolves and goes away, disintegrates, whatever you want to say it, this will be less likely to happen for people. But at the same time, it reminds me of people being fenced in. You take, or animals being fenced in. You take down the fence, but they stay within the confines of the fence.
Yes, you know, I had this vision of a cage with a bird inside. The bird was born in the cage, and all his life he thought the world was his cage. And one day someone arrives and opens the door of the cage. The bird will stay inside. He will not want to go outside. He will stay
Scary.
in. That's humanity. Yeah, so let's dare flying out of the cage. Let's dare it.
Yes, that's so sometimes when others, higher beings, are watching us and wondering why people don't immediately run out, it's because they've been trapped in prison for so long.
Yeah.
It's almost scary to people to step out.
It is scary, and we need to acknowledge it.
To a caged bird, flying is abnormal.
Yes, totally.
And they have wings. Yes, that's true, Paul. Thank you.
Yes, they have wings,
We
yet
have
they
wings.
don't use them. So, and I just love your analogy, the coat of many worries. I did that with a car once. I had a car breakdown. I couldn't afford to fix it. So what I did was I parked it in the backyard where I can no longer see it. And it's still there. So it works for me. It does. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You know what? This is the messages I was talking about. You just said, as a friend, we have wings and we don't use it. Bang. That's what I'm talking about. Just short, powerful.
The wings, yes. And we all have wings that we haven't been using for so long that we forgot we have them. And real freedom means
we are free. We are free. We are tricked into believing we are not, but we are free. The door is open, guys and ladies.
That's so important. That's a very powerful message. We are free. The door is open. Step out, step up, stand up for your freedoms.
And you know, the bars of the cage were made of consent to tyranny, to whatever religions or whatever system. When you flying out of the cage means I do not consent to what this cage was made of. I do not consent to be part of that, to be under the, influence of that. I do not consent. I am free. I do whatever the hell I want.
That's so important. Yes, and to stand up for yourself. You are a very powerful being. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, some people do, but many don't. And I think the most wonderful thing we can do for anyone is to empower them in whatever way we can.
Yes.
And giving them messages of how to meditate, like you were saying, is a way. Try it.
Yes.
It might work. And any other empowering messages that you might have, Elena?
Well, I don't know what that's gonna be. Something that just comes like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you are your own guide. You are your own guide, your own spirit guide, your own master. You own yourself. Nobody else owns you. Nobody else owns you. And oh yeah, some people say to me, "Oh, you're so wise. You're a guide." And I said, "Certainly not. I'm like you. We're all equals." And I'm just a cheerleader. I say I'm a cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader for the humanity. I'm just, hey, go, you can do it. Go, go, go. Yeah. That's it. Stop, please, considering other people wiser or more this and that than you. We're all equals. We're all having our own experience. And if you need you want guidance, go within. Go within. You know.
Yes, it's empowering yourself and and not thinking, not comparing yourself to someone else either.
No,
Everybody's experiences are different. Not competing with anybody else, not being
it's not a
jealous.
competition. Yeah, it's not a competition.
Yes, exactly. Just trying to help people get to that place and to empower themselves through. Maybe we need to tell people to program their own mind with empowering statements that let you know that you are free, that you are heart-centered, that you are a spiritual being, and these experiences are here to help you broaden your horizons.
Yes, and I like to quote the Wizard of Oz, because when Dorothy and her friends arrive at the end, they thought this horrible, all powerful wizard was like big, and they pull the curtain and they see this little frightened gnome, and that's what we are, pulling the curtain at the moment. And then the good fairy tells her she's gone through all these adventures, and at the end, the good fairy, she tells Dorothy, "Look at your shoes. You had the power all along." She had the power all along. All she needed to do was to knock the heels.
Yeah.
And she went through the whole thing with her shoes on. That's humanity.
That is so true. And, there was one thing my father used to say, and I have to give him credit for that. He says, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. And so it's like, nobody's any better than you are. It's just it's something we've been programmed to think otherwise, but
exactly. Everyone is equal in one way or another. Everybody has talents and skills that other people don't have. So everybody is unique, everybody is individual, and everybody is absolutely awesome and amazing. And remember that words are spells. And if you speak in a negative context, that you're actually manifesting that negativity right into your life. So look up the power of positive thinking. Change your words, because you have been trained to use language that actually creates spells against you. Every time you say something negative, you're reaffirming that negativity in your life. Stop it. Be awesome. That's all you have to do.
Yes, and we are moving into a time when more people are experiencing the dark night of the soul and finding out that they're capable of growing into something wonderful. And we do not need to compete with each other, just like Paul was saying, and just like you've been saying as well, is that everybody's unique in their own way, and everybody has different experiences and have different things that they can bring to the table that can either help others or create a situation or something that is beneficial to all. And I think that's the area, that's where we're moving, and that's a wonderful thing. And I can't thank you enough, Elena, for everything that you share with the listening audience. And I benefit as well, and so does Paul. We love you immensely, and we are sending love to humanity and to the benevolent ones above that are helping us, and
to ourselves.
The best is yet to come.
Yes.
I like to say that, and I like to hear that, and I want everybody to think that. I know people are going through difficult things, but it actually makes you evolve even more.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you, Elena.
Thank you, Elena.
Thank you very much. We love you. And I'll send you again. I know I'll see you again, maybe. You have a show coming up with William Watkins, correct?
Yes.
I lost that email, by the way. I actually had to delete some things.
Oh, no. Well, I put his email under it. I mean, yes, I'm taking a break to write about my experience with the 9, but I honor the interviews I had scheduled. So yours, I didn't want to miss it. And William Watkins, Saturday night. night fever. Tomorrow, William Watkins Q&A. So that's gonna be good. Yeah, Q&A.
that's gonna be
We have
awesome.
no topic. I just facilitate the space for you to answer the questions.
That will be awesome.
For
That's
him,
wonderful.
I mean to him. Yeah.
I'm
So
glad. That'll
don't
be,
miss
people
it.
will like that. And he has a very, I like his perspective.
He's
And
amazing.
we will be looking forward to that. And possibly we will look forward to another with you when it's available and convenient. So I love talking to you, Elena. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, William Watkins, he's the guy that said Jesus was sent here to teach us how to stand in our own power and how to do the awesome things that he did. He said, "Kneel not before me, worship me not for the things that I do, for you will do these and greater." And
Somehow
Jesus
we
is your
always forget
brother.
that. Somehow
Yeah.
that's always forgotten. And, and then people concentrate on the, I think we've been programmed to concentrate on the negative instead of the positive.
Oh, hello. Absolutely. God is a loving God. God is not a
It's,
vengeful God. God is a loving God. He is a creator of all things, and he wants nothing more than to have you in his presence. So talk to him every day.
or
Every
her.
day. Oh,
Him, her.
okay.
Sorry, I had to say that. I'm sorry.
And
But anyway,
typically prayers are ended with amen, and there's a lot of people saying that
that's not a good thing.
that's not a good thing. I simply end prayers with thank you, because that's what it's all
Or
about.
so be it, or so it
Oh my
is.
God, gratitude. Yes.
Yes.
Love and gratitude. I spoke with Mitch Yuka from Dr. Emoto's work, and love and gratitude create the most beautiful crystal of anything else. And so that's absolutely critical. So that's a great way to end a prayer, a meditation, a talk, whatever you want to call it that you're comfortable with, is remember to be loving and gratitude. So anyway, let's leave it
Everybody
at that.
wave.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
everyone,
joining us.
for listening. Thank you, Elena.
Take care.
Take care.
This Free Range Productions program is presented for information purposes only. The statements made herein have not been evaluated by any agency and should not be considered professional, legal, or medical advice. Viewers are directed to consult their own professional sources before acting on any information presented here.